Hey y'all, welcome to Cryptids and Critters Paranormal. I'm your host, the Dooster. I've got another little Christmas memory I'd like to share with you. This happened about 1964 in the community of Owens Chapel. I call this the Purloined Christmas tree. I don't remember the exact year, but it had to be sometime around 1964. We had just moved from Cedar Hill to Owens Chapel Road, where we rented a house from Harry Rainwater. It was an old two-story weatherboarded house along the banks of Beaver Dam. And over the years, I guess I explored every inch of that creek and fished in every hole deep enough to have fish in it. Beside us lived Mr. Johnny Fort, and the houses were separated by a huge garden spot, which both families shared. Behind the garden, situated down by the creek, was a freshwater spring, also shared by both families. Our neighbors behind us on the opposite side of the creek were Mr. Jack Cook and his wife Constance. Her nickname was Jake, and we called her Aunt Jake. He was known as Uncle Jack. Just down the lane from the Cooks lived Mr. Arthur Chapman, who lived alongside Beaver Dam Creek near the old metal bridge. Uncle Arthur, as we called him, didn't drive a car, so if he couldn't find a ride to where he was going, he hoofed it on foot, and he was in great shape to be as old as he was. Over the hill and behind Uncle Arthur's house was a large field that belonged to Elvis Christian and his sister Gracie. I had never seen any crops planted in this field, although I'm pretty sure in times past there were. This particular year, the field was overgrown with waist-high broom sage, and dotted amongst the sage were hundreds of cedar trees. As we were exploring, I made a mental note of the cedar trees and vowed to come back around Christmas and harvest one for the house. There was a large cave situated between the Christian house and the field, where Elvis stored vegetables and watermelons during the winter months. And for all I know, it may have housed a moonshine still at one time or another, but I can't verify that at this time. I do know Elvis was very protective of this cave, as well as his home and property. Anyway, during the Christmas break from school one day, Terry and I ventured back to the field to claim a prized Christmas tree. At first, we were going to carry a hatchet with us to cut it, but decided against it because Elvis may hear us chopping it down. We opted for one of Daddy's hacksaws instead. Approaching the field, we stopped at the fence and scanned the area to make sure no one was around. Satisfied we were alone, we climbed over the fence and proceeded to pick out a perfectly shaped cedar tree. It was a difficult choice, as the trees and other trees had been deformed by vines or undergrowth. Finally, we selected the one we wanted, quickly sawed it down, nervous the whole time that we were both trespassing on private property. Dragging the tree toward the fence, I was about to throw it over the fence when a man's voice bellowed out, "Put that damn tree down!" I looked in the direction of the voice and was startled to see Elvis standing in the corner of the field with his shotgun. I don't know if he saw us or heard us, or if he was just out rabbit hunting and came upon us. All I know is I dropped the tree near the fence, and we both hauled ass into the nearby woods. We peered out from a thick undergrowth and watched as Elvis walked across the field, grabbed our Christmas tree, and drug it back toward the cave. Once at the fence, he looked in our direction, dropped the tree, fired his shotgun into the air, which we took as a warning. As we watched from the safety of the woods, he climbed over the fence and made his way toward the house. As Forrest Gump once said, "Stupid is as stupid does." We worked our way quietly through the woods to a point to where we could see the house, and after a few minutes observed him walk upon the porch, open the door, and go inside, closing the door behind him. I told Terry to go back to the fence line, stay out of sight, and wait. At that point, I hightailed it out of the woods, and using the sassafras saplings that grew along the fence row as cover, I ran to where he dropped the tree, grabbed it up, and ran for the fence as fast as I possibly could. Expecting to hear another gunshot at any moment, I tossed the tree over the fence, climbed over, and between the both of us, managed to get it home safely. We put it in a bucket of gravel and water and placed it in front of the living room window. Mama and Daddy bragged on the way it looked when they come home from work, but never asked where we got it, and I didn't volunteer any information. I'd have probably got my butt whipped if it ever found out. Thankfully, old Elvis never mentioned it, and it was one of the best looking Christmas trees I can remember. And that's the story of the Purloined Christmas tree. It is a true story. I want you to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Cryptids and Critters Paranormal. I will be sharing some more history articles as well as maybe some more memories as we go along toward the Christmas season. So anyway, come back and visit us. Once again, I'm the Dooster, Cryptids and Critters Paranormal, and I thank you for your time.